Okay, welcome back to Proper Talk and welcome our guest. I've been really excited about this one.
He's been very excited.
I've been really excited. I've followed this guy for a long time, silent follower, and I don't even know how to describe you, like an influencer.
I guess so, yeah. I'm just a normal guy, really. There's no, I don't really like the term influencer. I was talking to a group the other day, and I was saying, like, you know, there's like two personas of me now. There's, you know, the people that know me at home as Jakob, and then there's people that know me online. And I got approached the other day by someone, oh, you're QCS. I was like, what a weird life, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just getting the camera up and talking, and next thing you know, there's people that actually recognise you. So just a guy that likes trading, been obsessed with it for a long time. And
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 25.
25, okay. And how long you been trading, just so the audience get an understanding?
Probably since 2020, so about 5 years. Actually, probably earlier than that. But I mean, there's a difference between trading and following signals. So
yeah.
I got hooked when I was 18. I saw this local guy in my area who had a Lamborghini, and on his story was blue profits. I thought, wow,
yeah,
this is like the easiest way to make money. It's just like, it's the most pure way of making money, because obviously in business you have like sales and stuff. This is just, you know, pure money. You know, you buy and sell, you make money that way. So I got hooked on that. Put in £350. I'm sure you've all done it as well.
Don't start us on this bit.
We've spoke about this before. Exactly what you're saying is identical to what we say
Our
about.
journey.
Yeah.
We've seen Lamborghinis, we've seen this. We're like, we're gonna be billionaires.
Yeah, exactly. And that was my introduction into it. But I always said to myself, I was like, I'm never going to be able to learn. It's way too hard. You know, I had that limited mindset of, there's so much to it, you know, it's such a difficult game that I'll just get rich off signals, and then when I'm really rich, I'll learn how to trade, which is a terrible mindset to have.
Yeah.
But so I deposited that £350, and I took it to about £3,500. And I said,
On your first account?
Yeah, first account.
Mate, that's pretty good.
Did you withdraw that, or did you lose it?
Of course not. No. I said to my mum and dad, I was like, oh, I found this trading thing. Like, I've made so much money. Like, I'm just going to quit my job and, you know, just do that. And then I lost everything. Absolutely everything. You know, blew my account, deposited more, blew my account. I was like, okay, maybe that's not the way. Maybe I need to actually learn. And that was when I mean, you had the same story, ICT.
Yeah.
We've all been there listening to hours and hours of content and getting really nowhere, because it's a load of...
But at the time, you think you are getting somewhere because you're like, I'm putting all this effort in.
Yeah.
I will learn something. And then,
And also Michael's conviction of when you need to listen to me, don't listen to anyone else, and you're buying into his story and his narrative that you're like, it's got to be all right. Yeah.
And it's that sort of that mythical algorithm, you know, the fact that the markets are run exactly how Michael says it.
Yeah.
So you think, well, I know I've cracked the code, and I got sort of an ego about myself saying I know the markets, I can just trade whenever I want, I can catch every single move. And as I've come to realise, it's not about that. It's about, you know, having an edge, having data, and trading that way, rather than thinking you know what the market's going to display. Because, I mean, no one knows. Do we know it's an algorithm? We don't. Do we know it's random?
No, but I think from my understanding now of people, like, we've just had a woman on who runs she was working in a fund before.
On a trading floor in New York.
floor, and she basically said everything's driven by news, data, like research. So, yeah, obviously the manipulation is everywhere, but I don't think it's some sort of algorithm that's there's thousands of different whales in the market at one time. So, yeah.
I think it's a comforting belief that it's run by an algorithm, because you think, oh, well, if it's an algorithm, I can crack the algorithm.
Yeah.
When you believe that, well, it's random, then it becomes more difficult to actually sustain, you know, profitability and consistency, because if it's random, then how are you going to make it long term? So I think that's what a lot of new traders get hooked into, is the algorithm. Now, I don't know if it is an algorithm, but I'd rather just collect my data and find something that repeats itself every so often and just stick to that until it no longer starts working.
Yeah, so we'll go into this. I've got loads to ask you, and vice versa. But I have no understanding about this, and I'm sure Jackie doesn't as well. But you talk about your strategy as mechanical.
Yeah, so I trade a mechanical system. So I collected 4 or 5 years worth of data on that system. Really a stroke of luck, because to actually find something that, you know, is mechanical and you can sort of almost trade it as an algorithm, where you can program it and it just repeats itself every single day. What I found is when I was trading discretionary and subjective, my mindset is not that strong. I sort of recognize that in myself, that my psychology is poor. Like probably you have the same, where you know, everyone talks about psychology is the most difficult thing to crack. But what about if you find something or a strategy where there is no psychology involved? It's either black or white. There's either this strategy present in the market because it's all, you know, it's there clearly seen in the markets, and you know that is, if you just follow that process, it's consistently profitable over the last 4 years. Then why would you second guess yourself on that trade? You just enter because you know if you follow that, then you'll, in the long run, make money. You might not make money every day, every week, but over a year you will. So that's why I stopped the, you know, the psychology game. I don't have any psychology problems because I'm like a robot.
Isn't that in itself though, cracking the psychology? And I'm not trying to kind of dissuade you from what you're saying, but you've it's kind of an oxymoron, because you're saying that you're doing this mechanical strategy and I've got no psychology, but your psychology is I just do the strategy and that's it. So in a way, you actually have cracked the psychology, because you're doing the psychology the way it needs to be done to match your strategy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You are right in that aspect. Yeah. I mean, I had a problem with psychology, and the problem to fix that psychology was trade mechanically. So
but was you? Let me have a guess. Was your main problem that you were taking a trade, losing, and then jumping straight back into other trades?
Yeah, or over risking, because if I risk 4%, I'll pass quicker. And then you blow one, and I'll buy another one. And that just becomes a cycle.
And that is the main data I see is over risking, lose it. Like I see people do 70 trades a day. And I'm like,
70 trades on
70 trades a day. They'll put
one account. That's
on
crazy.
one account. They're just like bam, bam, and you're like, there is no psychology there. Like you're hoping.
That's gambling.
It's gambling.
But I've been there before, and it might surprise you. But when I used to trade futures, you know, obviously they have a different sort of a model where the accounts are very cheap. You only pay when you pass. So buying like a 250k account, which is crazy amount of capital, for like $30 at the time. So you buy one, you blow it, you buy another, and in the day you could buy 4 or 5 and blow them all and just take trades, like not even thinking about what you're doing, but I'll just risk high pass, because once I'm past, I've got a load of capital. Rich. I'll just
that's what you think, And so just go back to early what you said in that you said you collected a load of data on that. When you say you collected data on that, what is this, backtesting?
Yeah, so this is a FX replay.
I used to use that.
Yeah, it's a fantastic tool. I collected all the data, so I would go through all 28 pairs. So essentially, depends how you look at it, because I've collected data for all 28 pairs, every single major, minor, and cross pair on Forex. And I'll have it in a Notion folder, so every single trade with chart, screenshots, what happened in that trade. And then you would refine it. You would say, okay, is there a correlation between the wins? Is there a correlation between the losses? If I remove this, will I get a better return? And then you sort of mold and craft the data collection to ensure that the end product is something that has a decent return. You know, like an average of 5 or 6% a month is all you need, really.
That's brilliant. 5-6% a month is like
5%. Yeah.
Talk to a lot of other funds, right? They're looking at doing like big funds. They're looking at doing like 13-15% a year. They're happy with that.
You'd be surprised, because when I post on TikTok that we've done, I come on TikTok and I go, we've done a great month, 6%. I get laughed at.
No, we've just had our one of our main investors in, and he's got a hedge fund. Like Jackie's involved as well, but like 2-3%.
Anything between 2 or 3%, and consistently. If we do 30% a year compounded, we're over the moon. Our clients are over the moon, because low consistent returns are better than a 7% and then a minus 3%. And our clients don't. If our clients see a minus, they might be over the moon with a +8, but if they see a minus 2 or 3, that's when people get scared. Especially people who aren't traders like you, who don't understand that you have to have wins and losses, but slower, consistent returns, like 5-6% a year, you might get laughed at. But those people who are laughing have probably had maybe big month losses as well. And they can take them.
Yeah, it also depends how much you risk, because
Yeah.
I'm talking in terms of risk to reward. So I risk 1, my total for the month maybe 6 or 7. Now I've had a losing month, and that was, for some people, it was difficult to me to go on TikTok and go, I've had a losing month, because you know, in my comments, no one's ever had a loss, no one's ever had a losing week or month.
Well, it's not real, is it? The social media is not real.
No, but I'm surprised because we all go through it. We all go through the losses, losing streaks, and I lost 7 trades in a row, and you know, I would get like people just associate QCS as a bad strategy because it had a losing streak. And I'm like, we've all gone through it. You know, look at the statistics. If you have a 60% win rate, there's like a 95% chance that you will lose 7 or 8 trades in a row.
Yeah.
It's just maths. So the reality of trading also is skewed, I think, by prop firms, because obviously you have to make 13%.
Yeah.
Which realistically should take you about 2 to 3 months if you're risking 1% or less. So, I mean, I remember back in the day, FTMO, you had only 30 days to pass that account. Yeah. Which is like so difficult to make 13% in 30 days. It's insane returns, really.
I personally, like, within the prop industry, what's happened is oversaturation, right? But what everyone has tried doing over time is squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. So for me, running the prop firm when we first launched, you actually, when we first started speaking, went, oh, a new prop firm. We first launched in 2021, like a free model, totally different what we're doing now. But we've been now live as a business 16, 17 months.
Last April, wasn't it?
Last April. So now we can see that data, but like when we first launched, we were like, we'd been building Nostro for 18 months before, and there was hardly any prop firms. And then all of a sudden, when we launched, we sort of missed that boom.
Yeah, by a month or 2, wasn't it? Yeah.
By the time we had to launch, you're looking at everyone else's, like when we first put everything together, we were like, right, we're having these certain rules. Because you're going into it blind, right? You've got no data. It's like you've collected data. As a prop firm, you will not know anything for a year. You won't know how your book works, you won't know how traders do, you won't know past percentages. But we were then like, right, we'll have no rules or very slack rules like a lot of firms had. And we found out very, very soon that it's impossible to run like that, because you were just ultimately losing too money. There's prop traders got very clever. They knew how to cheat, and basically the prop traders that were cheating were all coming in, rinsing all these prop firms. Were then these prop firms are closing, then they're losing money. Traders losing money. So yeah, it's everything's about data and about understanding what you're doing, basically.
It's I mean, the prop firm game is different to actual trading. Now, obviously, if you're trading on a personal account, a live account, you know, there's no rules. So I always preach to people, have both. Have a prop firm, treat it as more of a game, because it is. Everyone's got different rules. You know, you have to sort of, I say, you know, buy an account every week, because, you know, I started your phase 2 on with you, and obviously I hit a losing streak at the start, because just how it is, the probabilities. So because if I started it a week earlier, I would have already passed my phase 2, but it just depends when you start. So I think buy an account every week, even if it's a 10K, you'll just stagger them in a way where, you know, you might pass an account, you might, you know, fail an account, but you're keeping yourself in the game, because that's what it is.
Yeah, it's not about, just going back a little bit what you said before, it's not about doing 10, 20% a month. It's about building equity, right? So if you can get to funded with $2 million, spread it around all your firms, have some in your own money, and you're doing 2%, you're absolutely smashing it. You maybe do 2 trades a month on your accounts. But obviously I can see it's very frustrating for people that they buy prop firm accounts. You've got to go through it. One thing I would say is, like you took one of our accounts, like you're very open, made videos on it. I'm not being paid, and I've just left you to it, to be honest. But like you checked in the other day and you're like, I'm on 3% down. But I think you'd had that account I know we went down, but I think you've been trading that account for like 3-4 months, which I'll be honest, you don't really see that many people being able to do the challenge phase and have that sort of mindset to last that long on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I try and trade it, and probably that's my downfall, is I try and trade it properly. So 1% risk on all my trades. I only take the high probability setup. I think obviously you were down for a little bit with getting onto MT5.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, they are the best spreads I've ever seen. For me, spreads are massive. Obviously, most people trade maybe Euro USD, GBP USD, where the spreads, no matter where you go, they're pretty much minimal. But where I trade majors and minors and crosses, some of the spreads, you know, especially because I'm on a lower time frame, sometimes the spread is actually bigger than my stop loss, so it makes it impossible to trade.
Like, fully open about this, like I've always said, right, I'm going to put the best trading environment for traders, right?
So that's day one.
I've said it from day one, and I've like prided myself in the business or with people that we have that, right? Because I know there's nothing more frustrating. A lot of people don't understand the spreads and stuff, right? But we got back up, and they weren't very good, but there's no manipulation going on from our end. Your spreads are determined by your feed, by your bridge, etc., and your pricing. So we've actually had to put stuff on. It's better than a real environment. If you were trading a real environment, you're not going to get spreads like you've got with us. So, but I think that's important. I think traders already have it hard. Yeah. So I'm happy for him to get that. And I think these sort of stuff in a prop firm, I've traded a prop firm before where I've just gone in.
So have I.
They've just wiped me out. Yeah. And I'm like,
is that legal?
I'm like, what can you do? It does feel illegal. Yeah, what do you do? So, yeah, appreciate that. I want to pivot a little bit now because I want to just take it back to how I've seen you, because I think you're a little bit of an outlier.
Yeah, I'm not touched by the industry.
Like when I first started speaking to you, you're very blunt, you're very upfront. A lot of influencers come up and they're like, whatever, you just like, I'll test your account. If it's rubbish, I'll tell everyone it's rubbish.
I love that though.
I love that as well.
Yeah.
Like I think you're very divided on your posts and stuff like that. I want to take it back though, because like I think I first come across you is you were almost on the hunt for scams in the industry, right? And I think this is what you love doing.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you get a lot of stick for it, right? And you get a lot of people in your comments, like you get a lot of hate. So like, how does that hate affect you, or does it get to you, bother you at all?
Not really, no. I mean, at first I was, I've turned down a little bit now.
Yeah.
At the start, I mean, my first TikTok video, I was sort of really angry at the industry. I was just a trader on my own. I didn't connect with anyone. I was just doing my thing. And all I kept seeing on my TikTok For You page is join this broker, look at all these results. And I knew, because I'd obviously been in the game for a long time, I knew they were all scams, they were all unprofitable. And the first video got like 50,000 views. It went sort of viral, and people were like, yeah, I've been scammed by him. And then I would get hundreds of messages throughout the week of people saying, I've lost this money. And I think, there is someone getting really rich off the misery of someone else. You know, someone probably can't pay rent because some guy's now in Dubai because he's sent him money or whatever. And that really annoyed me, because obviously that's how I joined at the start. I lost the money. And obviously you can't always put the blame on, you know, the influencers. There is some, like when I did it, obviously it was my fault for over risking. But I just wanted to make people aware that it's an open scam. Well, I don't know if you can call it a scam, but it's certainly not trustworthy.
It's affiliate marketing.
Yeah, it's affiliate marketing. It's so easy to fake results. You know, you can rent a broker. It's easy just to show profits, and it gets people into the lifestyle, and it doesn't, you know, bring them into the world of trading how it should be, where you learn, you know, you do it yourself.
You real life prop firm Robin Hood, isn't he?
Robin
Hood, like trying to expose the cowboys out there, because there is a lot. I'm not going to mention any names, obviously it's not my place to, but the reason Scott wanted to get you on so badly and why this conversation needed to happen is because you're one of the people who's out there openly trying to find or let people know that X, Y, and Z are doing what they shouldn't do.
Yeah.
We openly wanted to talk to you today because we believe in what we're doing.
I wanted you to come and test me, because test Nostro, give you an account, like we give you a free account, right?
Yeah.
I'm open to that.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to come in, test it, because I knew you would go and give honest feedback about it.
Yeah.
And you're like, you start your videos and stuff with like, I'm testing this prop firm. If I get to pay out, they will pay you. I promise you, I won't if you've cheated.
Yeah.
And I'm very open about this. Like, if it works two ways in prop firms. Yeah, like I can count on two hands in 18 months how many payouts we've declined. Every one of them's been for hedging and cheating. Yeah, and
which is fair. I think it's fair. It has to be.
Do you do it manually as well?
What do you mean?
Like do you review the payouts manually yourself?
We review. We have technology, and then we have a compliance team that check everything. I'm not going to go into how, because people will then get round.
Yeah.
But and it's very easy to see with a lot of people, and we've had to put certain rules into our business. We've known that stopped people coming in, because otherwise, if we don't have them rules or whatever it is, then we would just be would be getting rinsed. So
we have no business, basically.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say is that I think one of the first videos I've ever seen from you, and I might even be making this up because I was trying to look for it on the way down. But I think even like saying to a point where you've had people come and find you,
there's been. I've had threats. People sending me my personal details, my family details, and things like that.
What for?
Just because I lose them a lot of business. You know, if my video, one of them got 5.1 million views on a guy who does affiliate marketing, that damages someone's business, because to them it's their business. You know, so to get back at me, you know, they'll threaten me and tell me to delete the video. They'll send me my address and etc.
Wow.
Which is quite insane. That's why I sort of turned it down, because I thought I'm flying too close to the sun now. You know?
Yeah, I think
it's good intentions what you've got.
It's
though.
good intentions.
You're not doing it. You're not doing it to do bad to bad people, to good people. You're trying to expose people who are doing wrong.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you also have to think, if people are sending your address and your postcode, you've probably got to think what's actually more important here, right? So, like safety for me, or like exposing these bad people. But
at the same time, you make a video, you know, the attention span of someone on TikTok is about 5 minutes at most.
Yeah.
So they see that video, they like it, and then they'll move on. And then they'll forget about that. This guy is a potential scammer. And then they just keep making videos and they get new customers. But it's the same with prop firms, you know. Some prop firms, I'm not going to mention any names, but they, from what I've seen, is they only pay the influencers. And you know, they have one rule for the influencer, one rule for the average person. So when I said, look, you will probably pay me if I follow the rules, obviously. But I wanted to come out as, because I've gained trust of a lot of people by sort of exposing people. I said, I'm going to be honest exactly what's happened. You know, you gave me a free account. I'm going to test it. If it's not going to be very good, I'll let you know. But I think if people see that honesty from yourselves and from me, they go, actually, why don't we give this prop firm a try?
As like CEO, right, I am almost at the point as well, right, is like, I don't want to take influence on, I'll be honest, people have approached us, give us an account, make it look like I've got a big payout, because then that works for them, where they get people to come into this stuff. But it's almost like I would probably go to the point, if you got a payout, right, and I would jump on a live with everyone in the Discord and let's go through his trades, let's have a look and see where they're up to, because I think that's really important for people. And it's right, because it falls back into what you said right at the start. At the moment, prop firms are all getting pushed by influencers. You'll see someone on who's just affiliate marketing, and all of a sudden they're getting 30, 40 grand payouts.
Yeah, well, it works both ways, because obviously if the prop firm shows that they're getting payouts, then it helps sell their mentorship as well, because, well, this guy must be a good trader. Look at all these payouts.
Yeah.
But them payouts could be, you know, the commission that he gets from people using his code. So the lines are very blurred. You're not really entirely sure who's real or not. It's difficult to trust people in the industry, even prop firms, you know.
It's not just inside this, like even on a back end scale of where we run it, like like back end sort of stuff of the business. It's like we've been burned a lot in different like stuff we've done, and like you come to realize you're like, right, you've got to, everything's got to be in house.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Some stuff is like, but it still hurts.
Everyone's trying to rip you off. And
yeah, cowboys.
But again, right, I've been in business for 15 years. That's not just trading. That's a lot of life.
Yeah.
I've had a business previous, and I got done over for like 400k.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, you eventually just got to take that on the chin. But what you come to then realize is you got to go, right, I'm gonna learn from them mistakes of what I trust and what I do. So, like taking that into prop firms, I understand it, and we've tried running Nostro in a way. We want it to be organic, right? I think the worst thing that can happen to a prop firm is you launch your prop firm, you don't have a clue what you're doing, and you smash it straight away. You've got thousands of traders coming in. It probably looks good. Your bank balances is going up, your revenue's going up, but then traders are like, this isn't the best product in the world. I've just got some sort of offer. They drop off, payouts go through the roof, your revenue's down, and you're fighting then to save the firm.
Yeah, I made a video on this. I said, when a prop firm comes on the scene and it's really big and loud and they crash into the industry, they're paying every influencer on TikTok, on Instagram, loads of ads everywhere. Yeah, they'll do well at the start, because obviously they'll get that revenue in fares from by the time people start passing the challenges and getting payouts, they've already made a lot of money. But as time goes on, as you probably know, it's probably a lot more difficult to sort of keep them customers, especially when you start tweaking rules.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when, you get an email that a rule has been changed. It's like, well, what if someone's not looked at the email?
Yeah, no, and we went through that because we launched in our first 6 months, we had to change all the rules. And you're right, it's really, really difficult, but you had to make them decisions for the business. And I don't think we've changed a rule now in a long, long time. And like I said, I know we've got some rules that people don't like. And if you don't like that, I personally now look at them and people actually turn like, we've got a consistency score. It's really easy to hit. You just need 5 days. It's on you winning or losing trade, right? But a lot of traders actually come into me now and go, this has made me a better trader, where I'm trying to be consistent instead of just getting my funded account and going full leverage to try and get a big payout. So, yeah, I think the industry's always going to expand. I think it's gone through a little bit of as we were launching, it was going through a really dark time, I'm going to be honest. Like we were, for 6 months into launching, we're like, wow, everything's booming, let's get it out. And as we were launching, every firm lost their MT5 and we were like, oh.
Yeah, but obviously you got MT5 back now, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's one of the most stressful processes I think we've ever been through.
I would say it's our biggest win though to date, like in terms of like everything we do. We've got some exciting stuff coming up, but having that now, it strengthens our business more than we can even explain.
Yeah,
that whole. I would call it a nightmare because that's the last thing we wanted to do is go down as a prop firm or any software or tech company. The last thing you want to do is go down. It was out of our control, but because of the negative connotations and attachments to prop firms rug pulling, that just looked so bad, right? Yeah. It's just the optics. The optics look so bad, but there's only so much we can do on our end. Luckily, we've got a strong community and we've managed to bounce back.
We started applying for our MT5 license 6 months before we
ago.
Launched.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
and ages.
And I've never seen as much documentation, KYCs, proof of funds, all these sort of things, and you just like, and then you don't hear anything back. So
we couldn't talk about it because we couldn't really say it's in the pipeline or because you don't want to say the wrong thing and someone hear it and go, you shouldn't be saying that in public. So it's all behind the scenes stuff and you're like, oh, but anyway, like that's in the past now. We're really happy we got over that. And again, what you said before about prop firms coming in and smashing it, what you don't do then is you don't learn anything. You don't come in and there's no learnings unless you have failures. And we've learned so much over the last 18 months.
Yeah.
Because we've had to keep, tripping up over ourselves and then learning, then improving the service. Sorry, just going to jump in.
Yeah.
What's your view on the prop firm industry as a whole?